Chetak and TVS iQube are two of the best electric bikes that you have in the market, and they are simple to use. Now, if I have to pick one between these two, I would choose Chetak. You see, we have split this video into two parts. First part speaks about all the features where iQube is the best. Second part speaks about all the features where Chetak is the best. Feel free to move along the timeline. Now, in terms of range, both Chetak and iQube, they offer something similar. These both have two driving modes. In Eco mode, Chetak gives a true range of 90 km and iQube gives a true range of 100 km. And in the second driving mode, Chetak calls it sports mode and iQube calls it the power mode. But either ways, these both bikes offer a true range of 75 km. Speaking of which, you can extract more true range from your EV. How to do that? Please check it out here. So in terms of range, both the bikes are decent enough for city use and both will get a point each. In terms of performance, iQube feels slightly better than Chetak. In Eco mode, both these bikes give a maximum speed of 45 kmph. In sports or power mode, iQube gives a maximum speed of 75 kmph. But Chetak offers only speed of 63 kmph. You see, it's not a big difference. But if you are someone who is keen about your bike speed while driving on an empty city road, Chetak can feel a bit slower. In terms of speed, iQube takes a lead. But what's really amazing with these bikes is both give really smooth acceleration. You won't feel the jerks while riding, and they give really comfortable and peaceful ride. On top of that, both offer regenerative braking. However, iQube's regeneration is kind of stronger than Chetak, so every time you stop accelerating, regeneration starts. This kinda gives you a jerky ride for initial few days until you get used to it. Chetak on the other hand does not have this stronger acceleration and it focuses more on smooth and comfortable ride. Now, speaking of regeneration, this is very a subjective point to score, but just because regeneration adds extra range to the bike, I would give iQube an extra point. iQube has one more advantage with the dashboard. Once you connect your smartphone with Bluetooth, you can see all the mobile notifications on the dashboard. You can save documents like your driving license and RC on the dashboard itself. This will give so much of mental peace because you need not carry these documents anymore. And above all, you get navigation on the dashboard. I mean, it's not like the Google Map navigation. It's basically the arrow marks that you get on the dashboard. Something like take right in 300 meters or go straight for a kilometer and then take left. Kind of a minimalistic navigation, I would say. To explore all these dashboard features, you get a joystick on the handle. It's quite simple to use, but response time is slow and the interface itself could have been a bit better. Speaking of the sunlight readability of the dashboard, it's pretty good. And you get this windshield which sort of creates a shadow and also protects the dashboard from the wind and dust. Chetak comes with this single view dashboard which has pretty poor sunlight readability, which you would feel pretty significantly on a bright sunny day. And you don't get navigation on this, you can't save documents on this, you won't get notifications on this bike. It just comes with this simple and basic dashboard. Clearly iQube is dominating, but let's talk about features where Chetak is dominating. In terms of ease of use, TVS iQube comes with this usual key to unlock the bike and to access the boot space. On the other hand, Chetak comes with this smart key fob, which is basically like a car key. You can just simply place it in your pocket, and once you are within a range of 1 meter from the bike unlocks itself, and you can just simply turn on the bike with a simple press of this button. Speaking of which, the key fob is so smart that as soon as you park your bike and walk away from it, if you cross a range of 1 meter, the bike locks itself. That's a pretty cool feature, right? And that's very tiny difference with iQube. It's not a huge value addition, but that tiny bit of luxury which Chetak gives, once you experience that, you won't feel like going back to the key again. And you can just press this button on the key fob to find where your bike is parked. It will blink the indicator lights exactly like how the car does. In a huge parking lot where there are 50-100 bikes, this key fob makes it very easy to figure where your bike is parked. Now, no question here, it's Chetak that gets the point. What Chetak does really well is to give a really smart boot space. You get one boot under your seat, which is enough and sufficient for a half-size helmet. Along with this, you get some space in the front as well. This space comes with charger inside this well-cushioned pouch, and to the other side, you have a charging port to charge your phone. And you can access these boots with simple press of a switch on the handle. Press it once for the front boot, long tap for the boot under your seat. iQube on the other hand has only one boot under your seat, and you can fit one half-size helmet in this or your charger. Both can't go together at the same time. Also, you would need to have to use a key for this, a tiny little extra effort than Chetak. So it's Chetak with a point again. Now, in terms of design and build quality, both these bikes come with very simple design, but both are very unique. iQube nicely blends into the ambience, it gets under the radar and is not an attention grabber. But the build quality is very good. You feel iQube is solid, but it doesn't feel premium. Chetak on the other hand stands out on the road and is an attention grabber. It looks really glossy and premium. If you happen to notice both of them on roads, your eyes would naturally pick to look more at Chetak than iQube. That's fine, that's how the bikes are designed and that's how they both look. It's neither an advantage nor a drawback. To put a point based on the looks and the design, that's a very subjective thing, and to be honest, I love both the bikes. They both look really good and they have really good build quality. So I would rather put a point each for both these bikes. Now, in spite of all these clearly obvious features, what really differentiates between two bikes are those fine and subtle details which really add value and make difference on a regular day. I think it's here that Chetak dominates iQube. You see, the first point is Chetak has lights on the handle switches, which comes really useful on a night ride. It's very subtle detail. Probably you might not even notice at your first glance, but once you start driving your bike at nights, then you realize that this fine detail will add a lot of value for your ride. Second point is the charger pouch. You will get this well cushioned charger pouch with Chetak. Trust me, once you start driving an iQube with portable charger in its boot and it starts to move around and make some noise, and then you realize that the charger is actually expensive, that's when you realize that the Chetak and its pouch for charger is really well thought. Third thing are the handle buttons. You see, both iQube and Chetak have really well built handle, but the switches on Chetak give really confident click and each button is easily accessible. iQube would take some time to get used to. It's good, but Chetak is better. Now, apart from these, there are many common features on Chetak and iQube. You get reverse gear in both these bikes. Suspension, road grip, handling comfort are extremely good on both these bikes. Seat comfort, cushioning and the pillion ride experience, I bet you can't pick one between these two with the kind of comfort these bikes offer. Charging time for both these bikes also come around approximately same, close to 5 to 6 hours, which is basically an overnight. You have to plug in your bike the night before, and in the morning you will get a bike with 100% of charge. And both these bikes have remote access through your smartphone, and you get notifications for charging, bike theft, previous trip details. For iQube, you get the navigation also. You can basically set navigation on your smartphone. It gets transferred onto your bike. After considering all these points, these are my final thoughts now. Clearly, in terms of the features alone, iQube has a lot to offer. You can't deny that. They add a lot of value. But if you think about these additional features which iQube has, I feel they are kind of incomplete and not of the highest quality. For example, you have this navigation on iQube. On paper, it sounds amazing, but it's merely an arrow mark navigation that you find on the dashboard. And we are extremely used to how the navigation works on your smartphone maps. And after you drive for a while with iQube with this arrow mark navigation, you would get a feel that smartphone navigation is the best. This arrow mark will take some time to get used to and it is not easy. You have to trust it that if you want to take left, it is that left. Rather than if you have a map, it's much easier. You have a confident drive on your bike. And after a point, you would feel like purchasing a smartphone stand for 500 rupees or 1000 rupees, and you rather use smartphone navigation itself. It's not because the dashboard navigation is bad, just because smartphone navigation is better. In fact, it is the best. It is extremely easy, and we are all used to it. I would probably say, is a dashboard navigation required at all if it is an arrow mark navigation and not the map navigation like Google Maps? Second example is the joystick for the dashboard. It is definitely better than a touchscreen dashboard, but it's not easy to use. It is slow and you feel that there is a lot of friction for you to move along the dashboard. It gives a feel of this old plastic keyboard smartphone days. It also feels slow and irritating to use. On the other hand, Chetak does not even attempt to pack all these features onto the bike. It focuses completely on making the driving much easier and simpler to use. And they did a really good job at it. You would love riding the bike with the kind of simplicity that it has packed in itself. Chetak is so easy and so luxurious to use. Now, if you were to pick a bike, if your major use is for the office commute, some shopping, or some weekend traveling in the city, which one would you pick? Please do let us know in the comments below.